All right, hello boys and girls. Today we're going to be making these adorable little ornaments. So this is one. This is the shape. This one's like a little bit longer. And then here's a little bit of a smaller one. So pretty much based on the size and shape of the clay, that can kind of come into play of what your little Santa ornament's going to look like. So I'm going to put those aside. You can see they are kind of different just based on the shape. So everybody should have a piece of clay like this. So go ahead and get this in front of you. And then I want you to think of cutting out some kind of a triangle shape. So I want to use most of this clay because I just want it to be, long and big. You could also do, if you have a smaller one, you could, cut it like this. So somehow you're going to be wanting, and I'm just lightly, so don't do anything yet. I'm just going to show you. I'll tell you when to pause the video, and then please pause, and then you can do what I'm doing. So right now I'm just kind of lightly, very lightly kind of thinking about where I'm going to cut. This is going to be too small for me, so I'm going to use this whole piece. So go ahead now and lightly, let me just watch me first. I'm going to lightly just draw the shape that I'm going to want to cut. If I come here, it's not going to be the triangle shape that I'm going to have, so I'm going to come all the way down. It does kind of curve up a little bit. I kind of like that. I can keep that, or if you wanted to, triangle it off to make it a perfect triangle, you could do that. So really go ahead now and lightly with your knife, just kind of very lightly put where you're going to cut. Okay, so go ahead and pause there. Okay, so now once you've set where you're going to cut, then you're actually gonna, so watch me first, you're gonna take the knife, you're gonna press all the way down, and you're actually gonna cut off one of the pieces. And then I'm gonna cut right here. Okay, and this is going to be what I'm going to work with. Okay, so once you have that, then you can go ahead and pick it up and just kind of smooth the sides. The back doesn't really matter because we're going to be it's going to be the back. You don't want to smooth it too much. Just kind of take your you're going to want to dip your finger in the water one time. Just one time. If you get too much water, it's going to get too gloppy. Then you're just going to take your hand and smooth over the shape. Okay, you just want to take your kind of finger and kind of smoothen the edges. Get it nice and smooth. Again, how many times did I dip my finger in the water? The answer is one time. You don't want to do it a ton of times because then it'll kind of mess up the shape. Okay, so that's going to be the shape that I'm going to use. I smoothed it out pretty well. You do want to pick it up just to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. Just pick it up like one time and kind of smooth the edges on the bottom a little bit. I'll probably go back in a little bit to smooth it also. Okay, so then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these pieces of clay to add the details. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the hat. So if you notice in my sample, it's kind of like a snake. So that's where you would kind of roll it together, the clay together. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut off a piece like this. Go ahead and cut a piece about this big. Okay, now that you have this, then you're gonna just gonna take it like a little bit. You're gonna kind of roll it. You can roll it on the table. Just kind of roll, just that good old snake that you used to do when you were little. You are gonna want it to go across the top. This is pretty thick, so I'm gonna roll it a little thinner. It's gonna be way longer than you need. But don't have to do it too thin otherwise. So it's kind of thin right here. I'm just going to I'm gonna cut a piece off that I'm going to use, and you want it to go just a little bit off the sides. It's not a witch's hat, so you just want a little tiny bit off the side. So kind of think where you're gonna put it, mark it with your fingers, and then go ahead and cut it off. So go ahead and do that now. Then after you're done, oh, so mine broke. So what's happening right now is our clay is getting a little bit dry. So if your clay starts to get dry, it will break really easily. So just be careful and use a little bit of water. So go ahead now and get your little rolled shape. Gonna get another one. So it's kind of gloppy right now, so try not to have it any more wet than that. Okay. So now I'm smoothing out the shape right here. Then I'm just gonna try it on for size. So I wanna bring it down a little bit because I don't want it to look like a witch. I want it to fit almost exactly on there. It could go a little bit off, but you do want it to be pretty much about that size of that triangle. Okay, so go ahead and try it on for size. Don't smash it. And then when you're ready, we're gonna go on to the next step. Okay, so the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna attach this to the clay. If we don't do that, then it will fall off in the kiln. So there's something called scoring and slipping. So what that means is score is to rough something up really a lot on both sides, and then we're gonna use the water to create a slip. So we're gonna score and slip. You have to do that to both sides. So it's kind of like Velcro. So I'm gonna pick up, I've tried it on for size, I know where it's gonna go. I'm gonna pick it up on the bottom side. Then I'm gonna take my stick. So you're gonna use this tip and you're gonna score one side. So I'm gonna show you now and then you can do it. So please watch. So what I'm doing is I'm roughing up my clay. Score, 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 score. Okay, so I've roughed it up. Okay, now I need to, I'm gonna score where I'm gonna put it. So I've tried it on for size. I know it's gonna go here. If you wanna just check real quick again. Okay, right about there. Then I'm gonna score, score, score. You don't wanna, I'm not deepening, I'm not smashing it. I'm just scoring my spot. So go ahead now and score this side and this side. So you'll have both sides scored. So go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now that you've scored your ornament, now we're going to use create slip. So to create slip, we're gonna dip our finger in the water one time, and then I'm gonna put it on my little hat poof, okay? So you may go ahead and do that now. Dip your finger in the water again and put it on your ornament. You don't want to rub it too much, otherwise the scoring will go away. Then you're gonna put on the hat and you're gonna put it on, okay? Now you're gonna wanna make sure that you're press it in just a little bit to cover it up. You might need to take your finger and just kind of smooth it out. So see, I've smoothed it on here, and I've also smoothed it on here. Okay. Now we're going to draw his little face. So his face is going to be a round circle, so I'm just going to lightly show you about the size of his face. So it should go about, I don't know, like 2/3 of the way down. Once you have what you like, and then you can do it deeper. So go ahead and lightly draw the face. Once you've lightly drawn it and you have what you like, then just go through. Don't stab it. You're not going through. You're just really lightly drawing his face. Kind of get the other little piece of the clay out of there. Those will flake off, so you don't really need to worry about that too much. Just make sure this is like a good defined line. Okay. All right, once you've done that, then we are going to draw his beard. So the beard can be really long and dramatic. This one goes all the way down. So I started right about here and then I went all the way down. This one doesn't go all the way down because it's a really long Santa. You can kind of decide. So the first line you're gonna draw, I'm gonna draw it first, and then you can do it after that. So I'm gonna start right about here at the top of the hat, and I'm just gonna draw a curved line, and I'm gonna come down. Then I'm going to I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna draw a line coming down. Okay, those little tiny pieces of clay, don't worry about those will flake off. You can kind of pick at them a little bit if they're really big, but you don't need to worry about it too much. Okay, so we're almost done actually. This is a pretty quick thing. We're just gonna do the nose and the mustache and then a little ball at the top. So for the nose and mustache, you can take kind of what you already were using for the snake, or you can also just grab another piece of clay. It might start to get dry, so if it's getting a little dry, you might want to cover it with a paper towel. I'm just going to put a little water on here and cover that for later. So now you're going to take a piece off. So you're just going to pinch off a piece. You actually want his nose to be pretty small, so I'm going to make this smaller. So about this size. It's about a finger, and then a finger size. Then put it in your hand and just roll it around so you get a circle. Or a ball, not a circle. Okay, once you have the shape that you want, go ahead and try it on for size. It's gonna be right about here. That's about good for his nose, and you're gonna score and slip. So try it on for size, and then go ahead and watch me. I'm gonna score, so I'm gonna take it's gonna be really small, so you gotta be really careful. So really quickly do the nose, score where you're gonna put it, then slip both sides, slip the nose, and slip where it's gonna go, and put it on. I had a lot of water on my hands, so I'm just gonna go through and redefine the face. Okay, just make sure that's on. You don't want to smash it in either. You gotta be really careful of doing that. Okay, now we're going to do his mustache. You're gonna use 2 little pieces. I would say a little bit bigger than the nose. Really what you're doing is you're just kind of creating little, you can get creative with this. You're just kind of creating like a cute little mustache. It could be kind of this shape. You could have it a little bit smaller. You don't want to smash it, so it should be a pretty good width. You don't want it to get too thin. If you were to smash it like this, that's way too thin. You don't want it to be like paper thin. You want it to be thick. So let me just do another one to show you. So I'm just gonna use my fingers. I'm kind of just like pinching it right here. I'm not smashing it. So that's gonna be about what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna try it on for size. And that's about good. Okay, so go ahead and do 2 of those about the same size and try them on for size. So just place them on there until we go to the next step. Okay, so the mustache is gonna go ahead and go underneath the nose. So once you've got that, then you can go ahead and score and slip. I'm gonna make sure mine are about the same, otherwise it'll look weird. So you're gonna score both of them, both pieces. If it starts to crack, it's getting dry. Then you're gonna wanna score where you're gonna place it. Slip, oops, I almost forgot the slip. Slip a little on both sides. And then there's your little nose, or your, not your nose, there's your little mustache. Okay. Again, just make sure you still have that definition. If you need to go back with that stick, you can. Okay. So I'm going to just use the end of the stick, so not the pointy part, but this end, the flat end, to place where I'm gonna put the eyes. We're actually, oops, there's my earring. We're actually gonna use beads to add some depth and definition, but use the end to very lightly, again, you're not gonna push all the way through, where your eyes, the eyes are gonna be. We'll put beads in there. So just lightly put that in. Gonna stamp it. Okay, so we have one more thing we're gonna do. We're gonna do the ball of the hat right here. The ball might not be able to go on the very, very top. You might need to put it right here. So I'm kind of running out of clay that's kind of dry. So I'm gonna take a piece off. So go ahead and pinch a piece off about this size, maybe a little smaller. You might want a little water on there. So kind of roll it up in a little ball. Try it on for size. It's about good. It's almost to the tippy top, but it's not gonna be all the way to the top. So it's gonna be right about here because it needs somewhere to go. So once you've placed it on and tried it on for size, score the ball. And then score where you're gonna put it on the hat. Slip. And put that on. You got it on there. Okay. Now we have one more thing we're gonna do. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something really important. You wanna make sure you're not doing it all right here. You're gonna do it right about here because we're gonna make a hole and you're gonna want it to go all the way through. So watch me first. I'm gonna place my stick here and I'm gonna go down. It's gonna go all the way through. So I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna make sure it goes all the way through. So it should go through the other side. Check the back and make, like, kind of get that clay out of the way. And I would put it back through and kind of go around and around like that. You don't wanna make it too big, otherwise it will go all the way through, but you wanna have a hole. Okay. And then that's about it. We are about finished. There's a couple little details you can add if you would like. Last year, some of my students, they did little eyebrows. They turned out really cute, but they were really detailed. So if you want to do eyebrows, you can, but you have to be very detailed with that. So otherwise, you don't want it to look too crazy. So if you want to do eyebrows, you can. You would just do tiny, tiny little ones. It'd be about this size. You want to make sure to score and slip them and put them on. You could do that if you want. You don't have to. That's a very detailed thing to do. If you have a good attention for detail, then you might want to do that. I'm going to try it. looks really cute, but it's kind of teeny tiny. I'm going to use the end to make sure it very lightly press it down. You need like a microscope. Make sure to just score it and slip it. So that it stays. It's very small. Again, you don't, this is very complicated. You don't have to do this. This is only if you want to take it to the next level. Make sure again that you use your stick to redefine anything. If you want to do like some details, if you want to do a couple like little swirls for the hair to just add some detail, you can do that. But that's about it. And that is our little Santa ornament. We are going to have this rest dry for 10 days, and then we'll put it in the kiln, and then we will glaze it to have these beautiful colors. And then we'll add decorations. All right, after you're finished, please make sure that you throw away all these scraps. These can go in the trash. We really don't have any use for these. So you can throw all of that away, okay? We will reuse the sticks and reuse the knives. So if you could please put those back in the bag and wash out your water. All right. I hope that you had fun, and I can't wait to see what you guys made.